Hope you can all hear me well. Welcome to the webinar. We're going to go ahead and give everybody a few minutes to get in here. Really excited about the presentation we have today. So we'll be covering marketing essentials, and we're going to be going through some great things like landing pages, doing keyword searches, creating content around those keywords, promotional codes, Google tools, things like that. Make sure that we're all going to be getting ourselves the best opportunity for success here at eDirectory with our sites that are already in here. Let's see here. Let's take a look at. All right, we got some people from the US and Canada. Very good. Okay. So we'll give everybody just a couple more minutes to get in. Then we'll get started with some introductions and got some special offers for everybody here today as well. I think you're really going to like the Mod Store offer. All right, so let's see here. All righty, so got a couple more people coming on in. Very nice. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us here today. We'll also be releasing the next webinar series schedule within a couple days. Usually by about Friday, we'll get the next schedule out there. And we're going to start having a lot more teammates from eDirectory present on this. We're actually trying to get James Chubb, our CEO and founder, on one of these webinars, which I think will be a great opportunity for everybody to meet him and interact and ask him some questions. And so I'm sure he's going to be providing some company updates and some new directions, and got a lot of exciting things planned here with the eDirectory platform, especially in the next 1 to 2 development cycles. So hey, Barry, welcome. You are here, sir. Always great to have you. All right, very cool. Okay, welcome, Doug. Thanks so much for joining. All right, so we'll just give everybody a couple more minutes here. We're doing okay with time. We'll just be eating into the introductions time a little bit, but that's fine. Most of you are familiar with the team here. Hey, Bill, thanks so much for joining. All right, so yeah, basically for those of you that just joined, we were letting everybody know that there's a lot of exciting improvements on the horizon for the eDirectory product. Upgrades are getting a lot faster, mod installations are getting a lot faster, pricing across the board. So things are looking up, and so we always work very hard here at eDirectory to make sure we can always give back to our clients, whether that's a better product, stronger mods than any other competitor out there has, more features you can use, take advantage of, more abilities to create your own design and personalization, enhancements, and things like that. So very cool stuff here. Let's see, we'll be kicking this off in less than a minute. But for those of you that are already here, my name is Marco Bizzari, and I work with all of the awesome teammates here at eDirectory with our community and our marketing and our sales. So we also have Mr. Emerson Travellini, who is also a presenter manning the back end, and here to help us get any other information that we need, make sure that my screen is sharing right, so he'll ping me if anything comes up, and more importantly, to do all the follow-ups and make sure we get to all the questions. Very important for us here to make sure that we get everything that we need to make sure these experiences consistently get better and better. So we do have some special offers today, very short and sweet. We also have a nice little survey, very short and sweet, all yes or no questions, shouldn't take more than a few minutes. And then we'll be getting started with the marketing essentials for your directory website. Hey, Sarah, thanks so much for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. So today we got the introductions and the welcome out of the way, so that was perfect. Done at 1:05 Eastern Time here. Next, we're going to talk about how to connect with eDirectory, some special offers, and a short survey. Then we'll be getting into the marketing essentials. And then after that, we're going to open up for a question and answer session. So it looks like we are right on time. So to connect with eDirectory, remember we're constantly sharing and updating new content, company updates, product updates, promotions. So you want to make sure to stay in touch with us. We wanted to stay in touch with you. You can connect with us on Facebook at eDirectory Software, YouTube, Twitter. Our knowledge base is also constantly getting updated. So please, if you ever see anything out there that could use an update, just let us know. We'll put that in the queue and make sure we have the most up-to-date documentation out there. Hey, Camilla, thank you so much for joining. All right, we have another teammate from Arca Solutions here. It's Camilla Farid. She does all of our quality assurance and before we release custom development or base code enhancements and things like that. So very cool. All right, and again, as I just mentioned, you're going to start to see more eDirectory and Arca Solutions teammates here on these webinars. We want to make sure that we, really deliver on our promise to have a collaborative learning environment. So, it's been sort of a new experience for us that we've been, getting better and better at each week, I'd like to say. And now that we're getting more teammates involved, we're starting to see a lot more of an immersive experience. So very happy about that. So again, feel free to connect with us. We can connect with us in a number of ways, especially the knowledge base. Great way to master the software. Make sure you're staying up to date on new developments and things like that. Right, so we do have some special offers just for those of you that are here today. You won't find these anywhere on the website. If you want to take advantage of them, just be sure to let your account executive know so he can go ahead and get that started. These are limited time offers. They do end by Friday. So if any of those, if you're a new client, you're looking to start a new monthly plan, monthly plans are great because it offers you the opportunity to get in and get started with little money down. You can always upgrade to an annual or license plan to either save money or get more access, or to be able to have something that is transferable, you can build and essentially resell as needed, right? So with a license, you can do that. You have a lot more flexibility, a lot more ownership there. But the monthly plan's a great way to get in, get started, keep your costs down, prove the concept. So for any new clients here today looking to get started, highly recommend that. It's a great way to save some cash. For active customers, any of you that are here that have been seeing all of the new mods in the marketplace, we've released the new eDirectory storefront, for example. Actually, I'm sorry, that one's coming soon, but it's almost done. So we're really happy about that one. That one integrates with Magento for logistics, tracking, shipping, all that kind of fun stuff. The community forum is a fan favorite as well. The Yelp integration is excellent for local business sites, regional, even national, right? Especially around a specific niche. Then we also have the Google tailored maps, which is another popular one. It sort of allows you to have your personalization on a Google map within your site. So you have these, tailored pins per category of business that you'll have on your site too. So great way to sort of add your own personalization there. If you want, you can choose any 4 mods for $397. And I'll be sure to let your account executive know of these offers shortly after the webinar. All right, so great way to take advantage there. If you're interested, you know who to reach out to. You can always send an email to marketing@edirectory.com as well. For example, if you missed out on something, you didn't get the follow-up email, you didn't get the recorded session, or you wanted to take advantage of those offers, and maybe you just forgot what exactly it was. So just feel free to reach out to us. We're always happy to help. All right, so actually, I'm sorry, before I go into this one, what I wanted to do is launch a short survey. So we had talked about that right here. And again, it just helps us kind of know a little bit better about, where our community is at with the marketing essentials. So, that way we can either create more content around exactly what it is that you have specific needs for, whether that's knowledge-based content, blog posts, things like that, right? Okay, so I went ahead and released the survey. Now, do not click submit until you've scrolled all the way down. There are 6 questions. They're all yes or no. They're very easy. So we're not trying to get any decision fatigue here. We just kind of want to start it. It gives us a good idea to see, take a pulse of, what we're dealing with as far as product knowledge, right? So before we get into these things, we want to kind of just understand a little bit better about, how often it's being utilized. Hey, Daniel, thanks for joining. Welcome aboard. Okay, so we got a very short survey here for those of you that just got in. We went over some special offers. Don't worry, you are going to get the follow-up email by Friday. Um, if you want, what I can do is, if you're interested in, for those of you that just got here, if you're interested in seeing the offers, I'll just backtrack a little bit. So we have 6 questions. Please do not submit your answer until you've scrolled all the way down along that right bar there, so you can get to the final question. 6 questions, all yes or no. Really want to make this experience a lot easier for everybody here. Okay, so question number 1, have you created any landing pages? Landing pages have so much application for your directory website. A landing page can be a page that captures the traffic from an email blast that you've done, right? So if you've mentioned a special offer, if you've made an announcement about your company or business via email, you want to create a landing page so that there's a special place where you can elaborate on what you discussed in that email, whether it's an offer, updates, things like that. It gives you a lot more visual real estate to really be able to complete what it is you were looking to do with that email campaign, right? So whether it's conversions and outreach, whether it's just basic information sharing with your members, a landing page offers you that opportunity to really enhance upon that messaging that you're providing, right? Where an email can only do so much, then you want to bring them back to the website, right? So have you created any promotional codes? Promotional codes are great ways to create some excitement around something, a sense of urgency to get people to join, save some money early on, right? Essentially prove the concept. And I think promotional codes actually really help you kind of identify what price is going to work best for you, right? So, I always highly recommend your first 100 members do some special pricing. A lot of people think, well, hey, this is my industry. Maybe I'm a first mover. Maybe I'm a late mover, late adopter, right? So you kind of have this sort of pricing back and forth. You're not really sure what's going to work. Well, you know what? Promotional codes will help you determine what price makes your site fly off the shelf, essentially, for that service, for that joining of the community, right? So when you get to see what price it is that really creates excitement around it, promotional codes are great ways to do that, right? So obviously you do always want to start high early on, but it gives you some room to be able to, give some offers, give some discounts, give some price breaks. So very handy tool. We'll get into that in a minute here. Do you have a free membership level? So remember, free members add a lot of value. They're going to give you invaluable feedback. They're going to share their listing to social media. They're going to create content for you as far as whatever content you've allowed them to create with that free level, right? So with a free level, you want to give them enough to get in and get started, but not enough that they won't consider upgrading to a higher plan, right? So with a free membership, maybe let them do just one classified, right? But it does offer you that opportunity to get them in, get started, have some fun with it, and most importantly, to get you that invaluable feedback, right? They'll tell you exactly what they want to see, and that can really help with your investments moving forward as far as any features or functionalities that you'd like to add that are going to really make that community website of value to to your group members, right? So for those of you that just got in, we're finishing a quick little survey. Be sure not to hit the submit button until you've scrolled all the way up and down and answered the 6 very short yes or no questions. So it looks like we're just waiting on maybe a couple more people to finish their submissions, and we are right on time, so we have about a minute left. Okay, I'll just go over a couple more of these questions here. Have you sent out an email blast to your members? So, this is a great way to encourage your members to share content. Say, hey, thanks so much. We see that you've joined. We want to make sure you're having a good experience. If you have any questions about getting your listing set up, please let us know. I'd be happy to jump on a quick call. If you're looking to upgrade, here's a promotional code, right? So you want to make sure that you're constantly cultivating your community, reaching out to them at least every couple weeks with either encouragement to enhance their listings, or if they need any assistance, they can contact you and you'll be happy to set something up with them. Or if they're looking to increase their visibility, you have some special offers. You'll even give them a free banner ad for a month, right? So you have all kinds of opportunities with your email marketing. And we just want to see how many of us are actually putting that into practice here. Have you reached out to any VIP members you'd like to join? So this is a good question, right? You have a community, you have a target market. There are probably a few key members you would really like to have on your site, part of your community, joining, adding content, right? So there's always a good question, and we'll provide some helpful tools, some outreach tools to let people know, hey, people are asking about you on our site. We'd love for you to join our community. There's free membership levels. There's no obligation. We'd even like to offer you some freebies here for getting started. I'd love to help you set up your account, provide you with a promotional offer, right? So this will also give you a good idea of the likelihood of them adopting your site, right? Or even becoming a sponsor, or becoming an active contributor, right? So maybe you work together on social media, all kinds of other opportunities. So we just kind of want to know how many people have reached out to any VIP members that'd like to join. Okay, great, Doug. So yeah, if you already finished the vote, then you're probably just seeing the completion there. And last question, do you have the enterprise version that includes the app? We just kind of want to know, while we're going here and getting started and talking about marketing, the app is obviously a huge way to establish some credibility early on, which is important, for any new project. So, okay, looks like we can go ahead and end the voting for now. Very cool. So we'll be using this information to better tailor these results. Thank you so much for sharing your information there. And let's go ahead and we will move things along. So we will tabulate those up a little bit later. Let's see here. All right. So, so survey is done. We can go ahead and move on from there. Doug, can you still see the presentation screen now? Okay, perfect. Excellent. All right. So let's see. We're going to go ahead and get started now. Um, so we talked about the special offers. Sorry, for those of you that got in here, the special offers were for new clients, 33% off any monthly plan. For active customers, choose any 4 mods for $397. You're going to see that we've recently added new mods. We've changed the pricing across the board. So this is any 4 mods for about $100 each, less than that. So if you were looking to add any new features or functionalities and you're an active customer, we highly recommend that. Question from Daniel. We populated our directory with different levels of free listings in free categories. How do we go back now and create a promo code to push them along? Very good question, Daniel. So you're going to probably want to create a promo code that allows them to upgrade to a premium or paid level, right? So we'll get into that in a minute here. You can also create packages and bundles that really allow people to take advantage of all of the different features in the platform, right? Like events, articles, deals, things like that. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and get started. So some of the marketing essentials for your site that we're going to discuss today are landing pages, which we talked a little bit about here, kind of going over the questions. We're going to talk about doing a keyword search for your site, which is of incredible value. It's going to really show you what keywords your competitors are ranking very well for. It's also going to show you what opportunities you might have that are latent, right? Because there might be some keywords that are getting really good traffic that your competitors are not targeting, right? So you want to understand within your industry. Nobody knows your industry as well as you do, as far as us here at eDirectory. So understanding what people are searching for, you might be very surprised. For example, with eDirectory, it turns out people are not really searching directory software as often as they're searching directory script, directory template, directory plugin, directory theme, right? So for eDirectory, we see that those are very high traffic keywords. And so we make every effort to include content, keyword density on various pages across the website that include that, because if people are looking for that, they're probably looking for something that has all the essentials in one place. And so that's what we really try to do here at eDirectory, is encourage people to not go and hire custom developers and programmers and coders and try to build their own eDirectory from scratch, because you can run into a lot of risk there as far as money and time and resources. The flip side of that coin is directory scripts and themes and templates and plugins that are all made by various third parties, and you need one for your events and one for your classifieds and so forth and whatnot. And they're all on maybe a WordPress site that does updates constantly because it's open source and there's vulnerabilities. And so if these third party software applications and plugins and themes are not all staying in touch, then you need to have a developer anyways just to update the site and things like that. So this is really where eDirectory is kind of in between, right? We have all the essentials in one place. We've been building the platform since 2013, right? Almost 15 years. And we're constantly upgrading it too with new features and functionalities. So you'd be surprised, really, what people are searching for and how they can find you could become a very good way of marketing your site and creating content, at least knowing what to say, right? Promotional codes, very important. Every single business does promotions, right? No matter what industry, there are always times when you need to either clear out inventory, do stress tests, onboard more users, right? So in the case of software or products, promotions are key. You need to be able to have them. You have that available in your site. We want to make sure you know about that. Creating content, when you're creating content, again, the keyword search is definitely going to help, but you want to have a site that's populated. I mean, you want to have a site that is attractive, where people are going to be able to get the perspectives of different participants on your site, whether they're all sort of parallel, maybe they're all listing owners, or maybe you have different listing types, right? So maybe you have clinics, specialists, businesses, and they all kind of interact a little bit differently with your community because they might do things a little bit differently. But your job as the moderator, as the curator of your directory, is to get everybody to participate. And so that's one of the great ways you can leverage this large captive audience that you have, which means you don't have to create all the content. You just have to make sure that everyone else is inspired and motivated to add content to your site, right? So chances are they have content elsewhere. You just want to make sure that they can share it here too, right? So in addition to that, you as the directory owner need to be able to show that you're also active and participating and contributing, and nobody loves this site more than you do, right? And so that means you do have to create some content, which means it could be content about your business, it could be content about your industry, it could be content about one of your members. You want to do a showcase about them, right? So you have so many different ways that you can essentially add to your community with the various types of content available within your directory. So we just want to stress that as something being very important, because not only does it drive organic traffic with the keywords that you're using, or the type of content that you're sharing, things like how-tos and, with the ladders, 10 tips for, creating your listing, right? So, it could be educational content on how to use the site. It could be content on them showcasing their own personal business. So, make sure that you're not only creating content, you've set up a schedule that works, but you also have your members creating content as well, which will go a long way for you. All right, Carol, best way to do that, blog or custom pages? So good question, Carol. So the blog on your directory site, I would consider that to be more like for your actual website, right? So the blog is sort of like top down. That's you as your directory sharing information through your weblog, right? Which could be, your journey throughout this directory, why you created the directory, where you see the directory going, updates about new members that have joined, or maybe strategies for events that you're doing or partnerships that you're creating. So that's where I kind of see the blog functionality within the eDirectory platform working best for you, is sort of you and your voice being able to talk to your community and your public and your visitors and your enthusiasts, right? Whereas the articles engine could be more about your specific niche, right? Or the articles engine, you as a directory owner want to also be able to add articles, similar to what you might want to see your community members adding, right? So the articles can be more of like investigative pieces, more journalistic pieces, right? Where you're actually getting into those passion points of your community members, right? You're actually talking more about things that resonate with them. Um, So, Carol, to answer your question, custom pages are also a great way to do that as well, right? So if you want to have an About Us page that you create, if you want to have, where we are now and where we plan to go page, right? Could be a great way to do that. Custom pages are great because you also have those SEO details, right? So Carol, if you're creating some custom pages and you've done some keyword research and you kind of understand, hey, you know what? I think that I can rank for this one keyword that's kind of underutilized in my industry and start to create content around that. You might want to take each keyword that you're trying to focus on and create a custom page around that keyword, right? Because that could essentially be a very good way for you to rank your site better for that keyword because it has a lot of traffic. People are actively searching that, and there's really nobody there that's serving that traffic as well as you can be, right? Or maybe one competitor is doing it, but all of the other ones haven't, right? So it really creates 50-50 for you and that one competitor that's doing it. I mean, you'd be surprised. A lot of people are not as active on these keyword search parameters as they should be, and it's a lot of traffic getting left on the table, right? So we'll go in on how to do that a little bit more in a minute here. I'm just going to go over the topics. Why a custom page versus an article for these keyword pages? Great question, Doug. So for the custom pages, because these keywords represent a lot of traffic, an article could be something a little bit more thin, right? An article can be something like, um, hey, our St. Patrick's Day festival was a huge success, right? And so you talk about the St. Patrick's Day festival, and it's an article which then, might get buried by the 30 other articles you're going to do over the course of time, right? But that custom page has a URL. That URL that you've created works for that keyword. The H1, H2, the body of that actual page that you've created will stay there. It'll stay on your site. It'll get ranked and indexed with your sitemap, and it essentially won't go anywhere. So that's what I see as the benefit between the custom page versus an article. An article can serve the same exact purpose as that custom page. However, if that custom page was built to better help you rank for a specific keyword, I think you have a lot more opportunities there because it represents a lot more value to you. Now, you can consistently release more articles related to the keyword, but you'll always have that one page that's dedicated to that keyword, right? So, you really can use one or the other. It's just sort of my recommendation on the custom page being there for a keyword that's of very high value. So you have that there permanently. It ranks in your sitemap, so on and so forth. All right, Carol, thanks. Just had that conversation for potential new directory. Okay, great. That's excellent. All right, Daniel, career page. Very interesting. So, Daniel, I know we spoke about this last week, and we were going to create a landing page. And Daniel, could you just elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by career page? Is that like a careers page where maybe you're creating a page where, it's sort of like your human resources page, where for your directory, maybe you're hiring a sales rep? Um, if you can elaborate on that, I'd love to be able to talk more about that because really there's so many opportunities to add so many pages to your site. And this doesn't mean they all have to go in your main menu navigation, right? There's other ways that you can present that you have other pages that are able to be linked to, right? So if you have your main menu navigation, there's an opportunity to add the drop down. No, classifieds with a focus on job postings. Okay, great. So with classifieds, the classifieds engine can be used for almost anything, right? It can be used for job postings, buying and selling of business opportunities, real estate, boats, right? Um, so with that said, if your classified section is going to be geared specifically toward job postings, I would consider maybe changing the name from classifieds to job postings, just so it's very clear to everybody there that exactly what that element is there for, right? So if you're adding classifieds with job postings, what I would recommend is, as the directory owner, you obviously want to make sure you have a few there. So I would go out and either contact people that are posting jobs and ask them if you can share them on your site. Um, obviously, if you're looking to hire somebody to help out, that's a great way to add there to that area. Um, and that way, you want to make sure that your site, utilizes that element of job postings to drive more traffic, right? So if you have people that are posting job postings on your site, you might want to consider adding those job postings yourself as the directory owner to other job posting sites, which will help drive traffic, right? So a very good strategy is to say, you can post a little bit about the job and then to say, to see the full job posting, visit Daniel Armendariz's directory, right? So you can do like a short teaser of the job on other job sites where people are searching for those jobs. And if they want the full information, now they're going to come to your website, right? So you're doing a little bit of planting seeds across other job sites that are going to link them back to your site, right? Which basically help drive some traffic. And you can do that with any of the verticals, right? Deals, right? You see deals out there, or people have posted deals on your site. You can help them get better traffic by posting a teaser and then a link back to your site too, right? So a lot of opportunities there. So I think we talked about the creating content a bit, just on the overall. Google Tools. Now we talked about Google Tools last week, and we plan to do another webinar about that more in depth. But with the Google Tools, you're going to find things like analytics, right, where you really get that rich behavioral data of where your visitors are coming from. And essentially, once you define and can build what your audience looks like, now you know where else to find them, right? So you can create lookalike audiences in Google and Facebook and tell them, hey, I've got these people, they work for me, they fit my target customer model. I want you to help me find more people like them with all of your data and algorithms and things like that. And they'll do that, right? So with Google tools like analytics, you want to find out where people are coming from so you can find more of them. You want to know what content is being consumed most popularly, I guess that's the best word. You want to see what's being consumed most on your site, so you can create more content just like that, or encourage more members to create content just like that. And especially with the Google Search Console, you want to make sure your website is clear and visible. Google knows how to read it, knows what type of URL you're using, that it's secured or not, that your sitemap is there for Google to crawl regularly and it's updated. So a lot of those Google tools are going to prove invaluable, and they're really easy to connect to your site. We've got a lot of step-by-steps on that. And last but not least, marketing essentials for your site. We're going to talk about outreach. So, doing some outreach is very important. Chances are there are a few people exactly that you would like to be on your site, and they all exist online. They are all out there somewhere. They are in a Google community. They're in a Facebook group. They're in a LinkedIn group, right? And those are all free resources. All you have to do is go into Facebook and search. Let's say it's yoga enthusiasts in Los Angeles, right? Let's say it's Hispanic business owners in Colorado. So let's say you're going to search Facebook, you're going to search Google communities, you're going to search LinkedIn groups, and a lot of people are already grouping together online, right? And so you're seeing Facebook actually enhance their online communities, right? But what they're not doing, there's no way to generate revenue from that. It's just you can start a free group and woohoo, and you're going to spend a lot of time moderating it, and you're not going to get paid anything for it, right? But what you can actually do is join the conversation. Hey, this is John. I'm calling from, yoga.events, and I want to make sure that you guys all know we exist. We love this group. What a great group this is. We actually wrote a blog about something that somebody mentioned here. We want to share it. And that way you're going to actually start to see yourself joining the party, right? There's a lot of, and these big groups, sometimes they have 100,000 members. They have 25,000 members, right? So you don't want to go in there and join those groups and be the guy or the gal that's assaulting them with promotional offers. Visit my site, visit my site, visit my site, because you'll probably get the boot from that group pretty quickly, right? Because those groups are more for sort of communication, sharing, things like that. So before you join those groups, just keep that in mind. You don't want to be the loudmouth. You don't want to be the one blasting promotions. You just want to join the conversation, right? And if there's something you can contribute to the conversation that you've already created, or maybe it gives you inspiration on what type of content you need to create to attract some of these people, you will learn so much from it. And again, if it's a site that's not limited to a local region, maybe if it is a local region, you can search groups that are like, Los Angeles Rotary clubs or Los Angeles chambers of commerce, where you have eyes and ears from business owners, right? People that will, um, that they're willing to make investments and try new things and join your community and be a part of the dialogue, right? So with your outreach, when you're part of these groups that have hundreds of thousands of members in them, you're going to start to see that if your brand voice is clear, if your messaging is straightforward, if you're not going over the top, you're going to start to see people visiting your site, getting that organic traffic just from being an active member in your own online community. Now, remembering that your eDirectory website is essentially a hub for all of those people that you're looking to join your community, right? So they all share similar interests, they all have similar goals. You're creating a home for them, an online community where they can share content, get found, obviously generate more leads. That's what's important to them. And you're going to be doing things to drive traffic to your site. You're going to be helping people find what they need to connect with those that have either the service or product that they're looking for. So with your outreach, also don't forget that can include bloggers, influencers, social media, brand ambassadors and evangelists, right? So, when you're doing your outreach, not only do you want to search what groups are out there that you can be a part of. Some groups, you can join and it's free to join, or there's no approval process, right? Other groups, they have that sort of curated community, which you will as well. You apply to join and you join. Now you can do the same for searching influencers and bloggers and people that have followers of 100,000, active subscribers or likes or page likes or things like that, right? So in doing your outreach, don't forget not only groups, there are also influencers, bloggers. Reach out to them, say, hey, you know what? You have such a cool yoga blog. I love it. Or you know what, you keep writing articles on the Hispanic business trends and cultures and analyses. I would love for you to be able to join our site. I have a free premium listing for you, right? So, you want to do some deals with these big ambassadors. Maybe you offer them a small amount of money for a sponsored post to your site. So there's a lot of things you can do, especially on a shoestring budget with your outreach, which I think also should include, social media ads. Facebook can get very, very, very targeted, very granular, as well as AdWords. But be careful with AdWords. It's very easy to run up a budget if you go too general or broad in your search terms, right? So let's say you have a directory about yoga, right? So if you go ahead and bid on the keyword yoga, how many people are going to type yoga into Google, right? You can easily spend probably hundreds of dollars a day and not get anything that you're looking for as far as a conversion or purchase, because they're going to click, charge you money, and then they're going to bounce right off your site because, hey, they were just looking for yoga. They weren't looking for what you had, right? So with the outreach, keep in mind you want to do groups, you want to search out influencers, and you also want to do a little bit of paid advertising, right? But you want to keep your budgets low. If maybe you join the $10 a day club, right? You limit it to $300 a month and see how it goes the first month. What kind of quality of leads that you got, how well they converted into new customers or free members even that you can upgrade later. Okay, great. So what I wanted to do is, now that we've covered sort of the essentials of your site, I'm going to go into the ones that I think are going to be the most popular for you. Now, promotional codes, we have a lot of articles around that. You'll be able to find those all day long in the knowledge base. So I think those are pretty straightforward. Creating content is the same thing. Once you have created a schedule around creating content where you say, look, I'm going to spend about 1 to 2 hours a week. I'm going to write a quality article. I know I don't have to be an author or journalist, but you know what? This is my business. I know it, and I'm going to share what I'm here to do as far as either my company or, our thoughts on the industry, our beliefs, and how we choose to move forward, whatever our specific niche is. Because what I think is, at the end of the day, your directory website really gives you an opportunity to create a niche, right? Where you're not trying to attack that whole general market. You're just trying to be of service to a niche that obviously isn't the entire market, but it's enough that can generate you recurring revenue that's going to pay dividends for a long time, right? So if you have a small chance of getting the whole market, why not just focus on the niche that you can actually play a significant role in and carve out for yourself, right? So what I'll say is creating content and promotional codes are pretty straightforward. We did just do the Google Tools. Oops, that was a horrible circling there. Jeez, sorry about that. I probably need some more coffee. Actually, let me just go ahead and clean this up here. So we already talked about each one of those. So what I'll say is I'll say that promotional codes and creating content are pretty straightforward. The Google tools, once they're connected, I mean, there's so many of them. I would say focus on analytics, search console, and of course, if you're doing AdWords, that's one you want to have as far as getting more traffic to your site based on keywords. Now, what we'll cover today, and obviously we covered a little bit of outreach, that I think there's some great things you can do within the outreach, like the groups, like the influencers, um, any other publications, right, that you can even purchase some ads on, right? You get on their emailing list, so other complimentary services as well. Now, what I definitely want to focus on is the keyword search and the landing pages for today, because I think, or for the rest of our time here before we open it up for questions and answers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and activate the screen sharing. I know last week we had a little bit of an issue with this. I did reach out to ClickMeeting. They're very awesome. They said that they're going to be keeping an eye on this specific webinar for us. So if we do experience any issues, please let us know right away in the chat box, and we will be recording a log of this webinar so that we can really make sure that we're providing a great experience with our technology partner on these webinars with ClickMeeting. So just give me one moment here before I open up the windows, just so I can make sure I have exactly what I was looking for all queued up for us. Now, I think this is a good time. I know we have the question and answer session in about 5 minutes, but if there's any questions you were just burning to get out, please feel free to put them right into the chat window there. And Emerson will be following those while I just sort of get ourselves all queued up here. So what I'm doing is I'm just opening up a new site, making sure that runs nicely here. All right, and we're almost there. Okay. All right, no questions yet? All right. So I'm activating the screen share now. Did we just get someone else that joined up? How nice. Let's take a look. All right. Okay, so don't worry. For those of you that are just getting in, we will be sending the recorded webinar at the end of the week here on Friday. So you'll have that recording. If you need it any sooner, it's usually ready right after the webinar. Just send an email to marketing at eDirectory. Emerson's always happy to send that link. We upload to YouTube right away. So, but otherwise, if you're ready, if you can wait till Friday, we'll send the recording, especially, with any of the other offers that we had that you wanted to take advantage of before it ends on Friday. Now, since we didn't have too many questions, we might be able to send the webinar follow-up by the end of today. That way you all have the offers there ready and waiting. We'll also let your account executives know there too. Okay, so it looks like we are screen sharing. Excellent. Okay, so, excuse me, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the page editor here. Now, of course, this is obviously part of one of the most recent upgrade cycles within eDirectory is this ability to actually create your own pages, edit them. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new page. Now, remember, when we talked about landing pages have so many uses, right? So a landing page, or let's just say a custom page, right? So a custom page can be if you understand that you need to create content around a certain keyword or topic, or there's information that your industry really needs that's sort of fragmented that you can be sort of that beacon for. Custom pages are great because you can build pages around those items, right? But let's say, just for example, we're going to use this custom page as a sort of landing page. So a landing page is going to have a lot of applications for your directory website. Hopefully you're doing some marketing, you're either doing some sponsored posts, you're doing some social media ads, right, where or an email blast either to outreach and drive traffic to your site to get more signups, or outreach within your community to tell your members to create more content to do more awesome things, right? So essentially, once you send that email blast, you put that promotion out, you send out that sponsored post with a big publisher. Now they're gonna. You don't want to just send them necessarily to the homepage of the site, but you want to bring them to your site. But you want to bring them to your site through a funnel, through a controlled means of communication, where your messaging is consistent from whatever it is that you said in that email or that post or that promotion, right? So let's say I sent out, let's say I created an ad on Facebook and I'm calling it the Facebook 15 promotion, right? Maybe it's 15% off, Facebook 15 promotion, right? So we're just going to keep it simple. The new page is going to be called Facebook promo, right? So when you create these landing pages, again, you're creating the opportunity to make sure that your messaging is consistent from that first point of contact all the way to conversion. Now, whatever that conversion may be for you, whether it's an active member upgrading their site, or a new member signing up to a paid membership level, or maybe it's just part of an awareness campaign, you just want them to know you exist, right? So when you do that, you have the opportunity to, obviously you have your header and footer and custom content, which are all right here by default, right? Now, there are a number of widgets. Now, a lot of these are designed more for internal elements on your site, right? So a lot of these aren't going to have any factor to play inside of your landing page builder, right? With the exception of the custom content. Now, one of our onboarding clients has an amazing site. He really wants to be able to do some awesome landing pages. Now, with the landing page builder here in eDirectory, it is quite simple. It's designed that you have the essentials. You have the basics that you can work with. But of course, we're working here on eDirectory to be able to really enhance that functionality, right? So, maybe you have someone on your team that's familiar with CSS or HTML that really wants to be able to implant or input code. That's something that you're going to see happening a lot more often with us here at eDirectory, with more custom personalization options, right? So what you can do is you can either, build something on your own and drop it right into your page, or what you can do is you can just keep it very simple. And just be mindful of this checkbox, because you don't want it to, if you do want it to display across the full width, it will look a little bit different, right? So now, obviously, this is just going to be very simple. It's not going to be a Mona Lisa of any sorts, but it's more to get you familiar with doing this, more to understand that you have these opportunities available to you, where you can create that sort of stepping stone through your site and determine where else they're going to land after that, right? So join us today for the Facebook 15% off promotion as a welcoming gift to our new members, right? Thank you for following us, and we look forward to seeing your content live on our site for our community to enjoy. Right, so again, we're just going to keep it really simple, just to get an idea of, exactly all of the opportunities you have with creating content. You can even add another custom content widget. Maybe it has a video, right, that you're going to now want to place from, let's say, your YouTube account, because you shot a video to really support it, right? So, maybe you're going to go ahead and add your YouTube video, right? So we have eDirectory software. All right, great video. Wow, who's that handsome man? I'm just kidding. Obviously, you can't really see me there, right? So what we're going to want to do is paste in that code there. Ooh, could upload a video, could get pretty advanced here with some of the link resources. So if you have any questions about how to do this. There's plenty of articles, but we just want to make sure that you have the knowledge to be able to use all of these types of links and what kinds of things they're going to essentially be doing here, right? All right. So let me just make it again very basic here. I'll save the changes. Let me just double check. Can everyone still see what I'm doing here? We lose anything here? Okay, there's a question. Doug, is there a reason why you have the title of the page different from the permalink? If you just type in the title of the page and hit the tab, system automatically creates the permalink. Good question. So, sometimes you might want to do one of those vanity URLs. Of course, you can have it all be consistent and the same, but just for a matter of being able to show that you have different opportunities to sort of personalize those areas, it's a good opportunity for you there. All right, cool. So you can see we were able to do something real quick and dirty, but obviously it's not, the point is not to actually be able to do what we were looking to do there today. Obviously you're going to be able to do that yourself and show off a lot more of how you're going to do those embed links and actually have the video display right in here. But just to make sure you understand that you have these opportunities to really manage the way people come into your site, right, with the landing page builder. So get familiar with it, master it. It's a very important tool. You're going to find that you're going to be using it very often. If you have training sessions left over from when you signed up at eDirectory, I highly recommend using some of those training sessions around some of these items that we talked about today, right, with the landing pages and the keyword search and creating content. Now, when you go ahead and you do your keyword searches, you have your Google account, right? So you have your Google AdWords account. They have a search volume traffic estimator. Try to get in the minds of your users and visitors of what they'll be searching for when they try to come and find your site, right? And you can also do a competitive analysis with a lot of these things to see what other competitors of yours are searching as far as keywords. So and have a better idea of, hey, you know what? This is my business online. I know that there's websites being launched every day. I know that there's millions or hundreds of thousands, even dozens of thousands of people searching what I have and what I do. So when you do that keyword search, you are essentially understanding the flow of the universe within search, right? You understand what people are searching for that's either related to what you're doing, and that's how they're going to find you, right? So with Google AdWords, your job is to pay to get visibility on those keywords. With creating content, your job is to make sure your site organically ranks for those keywords, which is free, right? Ads and pay for the clicks, and you'll see immediate results. And on the same token, knowing that you're going to be doing something where you're creating content every week that's slowly over the course of perhaps anywhere from 1 to 3 to 6 months, depending on the quality of the content, the keyword density, the quantity of pieces of content you're adding that don't sort of duplicate or mimic each other, right? Unique, fresh content. And then, of course, the great thing about a directory website is you're leveraging all of those members on your site. So if you have hundreds, thousands of members all adding articles that have keywords and text and images and videos and SEO details, that's where you're going to see yourself really rank organically a lot faster, a lot more smoother. But knowing these essentials is what is going to make you able to take advantage of all of these opportunities with your directory website. So I guess what we can do is we have about 7 more minutes, and I wanted to open it up for any questions and answers. Again, at the end of the day, we gotta make sure we master the software, we know how to use it, we can put into action all of the tools available to us. And so that's really the focus of these webinars, is that you know that they're there, take the time, invest the time to really learn them, whether it's asking questions on live chat with our support agents on the eDirectory.com website, whether it's creating a support ticket, whether it's becoming an onboarding plan member, whatever that may be. We have different levels of service for different types of customers and needs. But again, at the end of the day, the knowledge base is always there. Your account executive is always willing to help. And the best thing you can ever do with any general question is to create a ticket. Now, We also do have our Facebook groups. We have our LinkedIn groups. You'll see a lot of other directory owners in there sharing tips and tricks and strategies. So you're not alone. You're never alone here at eDirectory. There's always a group of directory owners, quality assurance specialists, customer success managers, account executives, all ready to help. So please feel free to raise your hand at any time. Oh, Wayne, welcome aboard. How you doing? Carol, can you still hear me okay? Okay. Sorry about that, Carol. I'm not sure where you lost me there. But thank you so much for letting me know, Carol. If you hadn't have said that, I wouldn't have been aware of an issue here. So Emerson, did I time out there for a while? Was it we talking about maybe a few seconds, a whole minute? But no, I'm okay. I mentioned VIP members as part of the main platform. How do you make someone a VIP? So I guess Doug, great question, Doug, and thank you for asking that. A VIP member is essentially a member or maybe group of members that would really add a lot of value being on your site. So, that very important member, let's say you have a local business directory and, it's just, maybe it's a small town, maybe there's 500 businesses, but there are a few key businesses there, or maybe restaurants or clubs or service providers that are really popular in the community. Those are sort of maybe your VIP members. Those are some maybe high profile members where obviously you don't want to give it to them for free, but you do want to make a special effort to reach out to them, let them know you exist, let them know you're willing to help them get all set up, let them know they can do a free trial of your site for 60 days, 30 days, 90 days, especially if you have that Stripe integration. So VIP members essentially would be people you really want to join. They would add value to your community. um, and you know what? In my opinion, your first 100 members are your VIP members. But I guess in specifics, that VIP member might be a high-profile listing owner, community member, participant, right? Whatever that's going to look like in your specific directory. Um, it could be a famous yoga school, or it could be, a couple of very famous yoga studios, right? Where you really want to make sure that they're sort of a featured member, a VIP member. You talk to them regularly, you offer to add content for them, things like that, right? Because to have them there and contributing is great, and it just really makes the community stand out a lot more, right? Great question. Can you track them in eDirectory or just on your MailChimp list? So in eDirectory, you can always go into the member management area, right, and see all of your members, see what kind of activities going on, recent activity, right? So if you see a lot of members contributing a lot of content, adding a lot of things, that's a great opportunity to turn that member either into a VIP member or turn them into a brand ambassador by giving away free stuff to them. Maybe even ask them to share their listing on their social media, which actually promotes your directory to their entire network. So there's a lot of ways to identify those members. You can do it within eDirectory. You can do it within MailChimp. You might know who they are even before they join, and you might want to create their listing for them, right? And invite them to claim it. Invite them to walk them through it. The benefits of your community. So yeah, so you have a lot of different ways to kind of identify or create those VIP members, but understanding who they are could give you a good opportunity to prove the concept with them, get them on board, and learn as much as you can about what you can do to sort of make that niche of your directory special. All right. Okay, great. Well, let's see. It looks like we didn't get to the open question and answer here. Was anybody looking to have microphone access to ask some questions? I'd be more than happy to grant. Um, or if there were any other questions here, you can just pop them right into the chat and I'd love to address them. Okay, well, I am a fan of silence gives consent. So, oh, Doug, here you go. How do I tag them as VIP in eDirectory? That's actually a really good question. All right. Now let me just go ahead. I'm going to go back into the site, Doug. I might have prematurely here thought we were going to wrap things up, so I do apologize for that. Let me just go ahead and grab one of. All right. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to pass this question along because I think after the recent update, there might have been a change to the way we can do that. Um, so what I'm going to do, Doug, is I'm going to table that one, but I am actually going to share the answer to that question in our webinar follow-up email because I believe everyone will want to know a little bit more about that. Oh, my pleasure, Doug. Oh, hey, Nick, how's it going? Is there a way to let some people only to access and see the directory while building it? Very good question, Nick. We do have a maintenance mode um, that essentially puts your site into a sort of construction page that allows you to see the site live while you're building it, while you're logged in. Um, but no, I don't think that there's a way to only allow certain access to people for your directory while building it, unless you want to grant them an admin access. So if you grant them an admin access, they can go in and see and access while you're building it. I mean, essentially, if it's under construction, you probably don't want any user or member to get in and see it, unless they're sort of like an advisor, consultant, or they plan to be a VIP member. Maybe you're going to give them freebies for their consultation. But Nick, what you could do is, you could grant them a sort of admin access, and you would do that right in the upper right corner of your site manager. There's sort of like a settings wheel, and right there, it'll actually say accounts. And after you click on accounts, there's sponsor accounts, visitor accounts, and site manager accounts. So again, you could just go to add new manager, email address, status, name, phone, right? And then you can actually determine what kind of permissions they have. Can they see all of your sites, activity, configuration, apps, accounts, mobile? So if that's an option for you, Nick, while your site is getting set up and you'd like somebody else to be able to get in there and check it out and give some feedback, I would recommend that. If it's a final user, I wouldn't advise doing it until your site has been built to at least a minimum viable product, known as MVP in software, right? So maybe it's not 100% bells and whistles, but it's enough to get things going, get some traction, get some revenue coming in, getting your first few paid members, knowing that your website is evolutionary, it will evolve, it will get better, you will get feedback, you'll make investments where it's requested. So yeah, I think that's probably me hammering that one over the head, Nick. But if there was anything beyond that you were really looking to do, we also offer custom development services here at eDirectory. We can add any unique or specific features or functionalities to your site, especially if they exist on another website. We can just inspect the code and see what kind of integration they're using to make it a lot easier, right? So we don't have to recreate the wheel there. Oh, my pleasure, Nick. Thanks for joining. All right, so I think we pretty much wrapped it up for today. Great questions. I really hope that this was of value to you guys. We always learn a lot here in these webinars. We'll be releasing our webinar schedule within the next couple of weeks. We do need some time to kind of go through and take all the feedback we've gotten and make it something real. When we took a break the last couple of weeks, we were able to launch new mods. We were able to reduce the pricing almost across the board on the mods based on some feedback from some great participants like Hakam and Daniel that had requested, hey, let's start to subsidize some of these custom developments if they're popular. Well, what we did is, oh, you're still seeing the thank you for voting, Doug. Oh, geez, Louise. Well, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and change the slide. I'm not sure if maybe that had an impact on what you're seeing. As far as I'm concerned, the screen sharing is done. I don't see any other instance of that here. All right, so as we mentioned, we'll review all questions and show live examples of answers. In our follow-ups, we'll follow up on any questions within about 48 hours by Friday. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this webinar. We really appreciate it. And, our goal here is to constantly let all of you know that our only objective is to make sure you're as successful as possible with the platform. We do power the operations. Sales and marketing is up to the client, but we do our best to make sure you're aware of all of the tools in your arsenal. We highly encourage you mastering the Getting Started series. get up and running as quickly as possible. Save your training sessions for when you have 30 minutes worth of questions. And if any of you were looking to do any additional training sessions, please feel free to reach out to your account executive. We can always, if you're really looking to have new clients, members, teammates on, we can always offer more of those as well. So, or if you'd like to do another one, let us know. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate this time with you. We learned so much. We hope that you do too. And we'll be sharing a new schedule soon. And we're going to keep trying to mix up topics so that we cover things that are most important to everybody here. You'll see that new schedule out, and you'll get the confirmation by Friday. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Stay motivated. You're building something that's going to create recurring revenue for a long period of time. That's always the goal, and it starts with your first 25 to 100 members. Get creative. Don't be afraid to try new things. Limit your risk by either setting maximums for dailies on budgets, and just making sure that you keep a pulse on your community at all times, right? All right. Well, hey, everybody, have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much, Donald. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Thank you, Carol. I'm going to go ahead and close up shop for now, but I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.